Hi, I'm Liz Walker, and I'm working with Craig Palmer, and we're both second-year journalism students at SAIT, and this is an introduction to the journalism program, so we hope you enjoy it. Let's see if we can find Trevor Scott Howell.
Okay. Trevor Scott Howell is the news editor of The Wheel. He's also in our class, and he's a very smart gentleman.
Trevor Scott Howell!
Who are you lying to?
Ooh.
What do you do, Trevor?
I sit here and stare at my computer and read press releases ad nauseum.
Sweet.
Do you get paid?
Yes, I do.
How much do you get paid?
X amount. Not a lot.
X amount. It's a good answer.
Yeah.
So, how'd you fall into this gig?
Default.
That's not true.
Oh.
I guess that's not true.
No, I applied like every other editor here.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a vetting process.
So you did a lot of stuff last year?
Yes.
Stories. You just worked hard.
How many bylines have you had in this paper?
At least one every week.
How many is that? I can't do math.
Probably
Oh.
50,000.
Hello?
Oh, yes, and if anyone wants to write for The Wheel, don't hesitate.
Do you exclude people outside of the journalism course?
Not if they can write.
Okay.
Or take photographs, or yeah, anyone can contribute.
All right. You did, let's see, you worked for, what was it, Beetroot or Fast Forward? Fast Forward over the summer. And where did you go for your practicum?
I went to Swerve for my practicum.
Ooh.
How was that?
Yeah,
It
for
was
the
different.
Herald.
Yeah. On the bright side, I have a friend who's been doing freelance for about 3 years now, and she's pulling in 6 figures this year.
Are you
Just
serious?
freelancing. So, if you want it, kids, it's up here.
What you teach, and then I'll ask you.
You bet. Are we rolling?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tyler Nagel. I teach web design and production planning and layout for the SAIT Journalism program.
How long have you been teaching here for?
I've been teaching here for about 6 years.
And why should students choose SAIT?
Well, I think SAIT really offers a lot of applied training, and that's what sets it apart from some other journalism programs, that we really focus on training future journalists with the exact skills that they're going to need to go into the workplace instead of focusing on more theoretical skills. And so at the end of 2 years, they're totally ready to go out and become journalists.
And why did you choose SAIT to teach at?
Wow, I think SAIT chose me. They tracked me down to help out with an emergency teaching situation, but here I am 6 years later because we all know SAIT rocks and it's the best. So,
Yeah.
so here I am.
And then I'll...
Okay, my name's Kevin Udall, and I'm a photojournalism instructor at SAIT Polytechnic.
How long have you been teaching here?
I've been teaching for 1.5 years at SAIT.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
What did you do before you taught here?
I spent 7 years at the Calgary Sun as a staff photographer, and before that I freelanced for several years while I attended university. I also worked at the Moose Jaw Times Herald for about 2 years, and also did a contract job just after graduating from SAIT in 1991 with the Canadian Forces at the Banff National Army Cadet Camp.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why did you choose SAIT to teach at?
Well, SAIT approached me, and I had spent, like I said, 7 years at the Calgary Sun, and I enjoyed my time there. And but SAIT offered me a position here that I almost couldn't refuse. It gave me a lot more time with my family, and being in the newspaper business can be quite demanding on the family. And so I decided to choose teaching, and it's been very rewarding so far.
So why do you think students should choose SAIT to take journalism at, opposed to other schools?
Well, I think because of SAIT offers a real hands-on approach to teaching, and to I also think that SAIT has some really good instructors. I would say that we've in the journalism program alone, we've just hired, well, myself just come on board, and Greg Fulmus has come on board right from industry. So we have instructors who have a tremendous amount of industry experience now, and that's invaluable, I think, for the students. We also have a lot of the technology, all the hardware and the software that we could ask for, and we have all the all kinds of support for that. And we're also moving in the direction of multimedia, which is huge, just really important in today's media industry. Today's newspaper industry is moving towards the internet content delivery, and I think SAIT is really at the forefront in providing the training for those students, and will be in the near future.
And lastly, I guess, what do you think of your students that you've had so far?
Oh, I think they're all wonderful.
Pretty funny, I guess.
They're great. I enjoy a lot of successes with them, and you know, even only being here for a year and a half, you know, I've really enjoyed my time with a lot of the students. They teach me a lot of things as well.
Your name?
Okay.
And what you teach, and then.
My name is Jim Cunningham, and I teach journalism at SAIT. I've taught here since 2000, and prior to that I was a journalist at the Calgary Herald for 22 years, and prior to that I worked at other daily newspapers in Alberta for about another 8. So I've got about 30 years in the business, and then coming up on 8 years, well, we'll be 8 years here this winter, and that's kind of 2 careers in one, basically.
So why should students come to SAIT other than Mount Royal or UC?
Because we're the best. Yeah, we're the only hands-on program in the city, and I mean journalism program. There's nothing like this at the university. Their program is strictly a communications program, and it's mostly theoretical, and that certainly has its advantages. But for people that are looking for particularly specific marketable skills, it's not as good an option as this. As far as Mount Royal is concerned, they have an excellent program. There are certain challenges, though, for some students in that it's a 4-year degree as opposed to this program. And increasingly what I notice is that employers want people coming into the workplace that actually have the skills and have actually had a chance to use them in a work setting. Students at Mount Royal do get a practicum, they do get a work experience thing, but it comes in the 4th year. And in as much as it takes a little while for them to get to that point, they certainly have a good theoretical grounding. But I like to tell people that our students have already gone out there and gotten all the jobs by the time they graduate. Plus you're done, and there's some truth to that, to be honest. We've had a good record, particularly in recent years, of placing people into work situations here, and as I say, nothing against Mount Royal, but I think the trick in this thing is to sort of get enough to get out there, and then once you've landed the opportunity, these companies especially like people that they can teach themselves to some degree. So if you've got enough to get in the door, they're prepared to sort of give you, through work experience, they're prepared to give you the rest. We also have an articulation agreement with the University of Calgary and with other schools. So for people that really do want to get a 4-year thing or want a university degree, it's possible to take the credits from this program and do that too.
So do you think students have it set to just go off and work after they're done at SAIT?
No,
or do you think
no. Increasingly from this program, I would say it's probably 50-50. Some want to get out and work, others would rather go on a complete university. And I think right now, forgive me for not knowing the numbers, but from last year's graduating class, I think we've got at least 15 students at the U of C, which is by far the largest number that we've ever had. Mm-hmm. In past years, we've had significant numbers have gone through articulation as well, but they've gone to other places. We have arrangements with Royal Roads University in Victoria, for example, and we've had a number of students go there in past years. And we're working on articulation. We're working on articulation agreements with a number of other schools, including down the road possibly Carleton University in Ottawa, which is really one of the top journalism programs in the country as a degree program. And so anybody wanting to sort of go through and do a 4-year thing could conceivably get in with credits from here. That's all good, and as I say, more and more people seem to want to do a university thing. But the idea with this is that some also don't. And there's a cost to this kind of education. And for people that would rather not take on 4 years worth of student loans or other kinds of debt. Having a 2-year program and a credential which you can use in the marketplace has got its benefits too.
Good.